I'll do yourself a favour, Viv.
It's not we need, it's screamed.
Oi! Move back, please. As see here. Come on, what's getting in the way? Come on, please. Please, move back.
Excuse me.
Madam, this is not a public entertainment.
I think I can help.
Oh, yes?
Hold on, Steve.
Hello.
I know you, don't I?
Sally Bowen. I'm a probation officer. One of my clients told me what happened. I may be able to identify her.
CID already at the scene.
Good. What does it sound like?
Looks like a prostitute, met a very nasty end.
Someone must have looked her, I suppose. Once.
Oh, dear God.
Do you know her?
Yes. She used to be a client. Was called Janie.
So that's Janie Constant, age 24, address unknown, but local. Some sort of form. All right, Kath, I'll pass that on to Tosh and Donna. By the way, is there any sign of Amit yet?
Not yet, Skip.
Thanks very much for all your help, Mrs.
Bowen.
If you wouldn't mind leaving your address and telephone number with DC Martella, we might have to take a statement off you later.
I really do want to do everything I can to help. Whoever did this to her must be sick, very sick. He needs to be stopped before he does it again.
Yeah, that's understood.
I hope because she's a prostitute won't mean you'll treat the case lightly.
Am I doing that?
She was a normal, healthy human being, Inspector.
So?
It's not that she had it coming to her. She was a woman, and she's entitled to the same kind of...
Madam, if you're going to start telling me how to do my job, please don't.
I just want to make sure that you intend to take this seriously.
Are you suggesting I'm not?
I can't be sure, can I?
With all due respect, I don't think it's any of your business.
Well, I think it is.
Is this a service you do for all the local whores? Or did you just happen to be passing?
Excuse me, what did you say your name was, Inspector?
Frank Burnside. Now, if you're finished, I've got a murderer to catch. I'm sure there's some good you could be doing somewhere else. Viv, do you mind escorting Mrs. Bowen out of the area?
Mrs. Bowen...
Hold on. Inspector?
Go on.
What's your problem?
I'm trying to do my job.
Is it that I'm a probation officer? Or because I'm a woman?
It's because you're getting in my way. Now, if you don't...
I came here to help. So don't treat me like some stupid, meddling bystander.
Don't tell me. You're gonna make a complaint?
You're a bonehead, Mr. Burnside. A stupid, sexist bonehead.
Well, thank you for those helpful comments. When we've collared this murderer, I'm sure you'll be able to do him some good, too.
You really are a pig, aren't you? An ignorant pig.
Watch yourself, Gov. She might bite you. Who is she? Don't ask.
Don't you start. Anyway, you're wrong, Kath. Burnside got mad because he thought she was an interfering do-gooder.
She was there to help.
Been having fun?
Been watching Burnside building bridges with the public. Picked the wrong one this time, though. She called him an ignorant pig. He was crushed, of course. Naturally.
Tosh.
Yeah, right. I'll pull in. You can never find one when you want one, can you?
No, you can't.
Better look next time.
Yeah. Over here on your right, Tosh.
I've got it.
They see us coming.
Look, shall we separate?
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. Excuse me, love.
Business?
It's early in the day. Sorry, love, you're out of luck. DC Line, Sunhill Police. Do you know Janie Constant?
Get lost. Yeah, all right, girls. Tell me the old story. You don't remember any of them. You know, I don't know how you lot make a living, deaf, dumb and blind.
It'd be a positive advantage some of the time.
Look, girls, I'm not a social worker, but Janie's face was beaten to a pulp. How do you know you might not be next? There's no one you know that might be able to tell us anything.
We've got nothing to say, have we?
There's a probation officer, says she knew Janie. Her name's Sally Bowen. Do you know her? You do know her, yeah?
She knows all the girls round here. Dead good to some of them, she is. Isn't she, Teresa?
If you like that sort of thing, yeah. But you don't like her. Why?
Yes, you can talk to anyone you like, wherever you like. Yes, and of course it can be in private. Look, love, why don't... Hello? Hello? That was the woman with some information about this murder. She's trying to pluck up courage. If she calls back again, keep her talking.
Yes, Sarge.
She's a probation officer, sir. Mrs. Bowen. The one that Mr. Burnside had a chat with.
The one who was eating him alive, you mean?
A lot of the girls know her. Apparently she helps them out.
Where do you see her leading us?
Up the garden path.
At least some useful background information. Addresses, people Janie Constant knew, stuff like that.
Sounds like a job for you, Gov.
Oh, thank you, Tosh.
I'll locate the actions here if you don't mind. Frank, she's all yours.
I'd like Tosh with me, please, sir.
I think Viv fancied her chances with this one, Gov.
Viv still thinks the only way to make people talk is to be nice to them. Is Mrs. Bowen in? We're police officers.
She's never been soliciting again. Come on. Of course, it was a joke. Unfortunately, my dear wife's work doesn't pay half so well.
I assume you know why we're here.
Janie Constant. Where do they get their names, these tarts? My wife's at the probation office at Seymour Grove. I doubt if she wants to speak to you, though. She's not over fond of the police. Maybe I can help.
How?
Well, I know some of the girls quite well, unfortunately. It's a tendency of Sally's to bring work home.
Is that normal?
Well, she seems to think so. Lame ducks, social cripples, whores, you name them, you find them cluttering up this house from time to time. She calls it dedication to the job.
And you?
I call it cluttering up the place.
It's CID, I'm telling you. It is being handled by CID.
But the bloke on the phone told me I could speak to anyone. I don't want to talk to no detective. I want to speak to the woman cop.
Look, if you don't know her name, I don't know who you're talking about. You're not going to get very...
Excuse me. Did you call in, love?
Yeah.
Is it Kathy Marshall you want? Short, light brown hair, youngish looking?
To be quite honest, it's the fantasy element I find most upsetting. OK, so the girls have got to live a lie in some way. It's the only thing that keeps them sane. It's my wife I'm not so sure about.
Fantasy?
No, you know, bringing them here as friends, treating them as equals. In a word, she patronises them.
And they leave here as model citizens?
Exactly. Usually with some trophy in their handbags. Cash that Sally's left lying about, bit of jewellery. But I'm not allowed to mention that, of course.
Bit sexist, eh?
Sexist, classist, racist. A lot of them are black, of course. But they're all human beings, Ray. Suffering humanity.
Did you know Janie Constant?
Not that I could put a name to. Possibly. Some of the girls were pushier than others.
How do you mean?
Well, there'd be Sally treating them as human beings, and as soon as she turned their back, they leapt on me. Some of them, not all, of course.
How did you respond to that?
Well, I didn't. The only thing I was ever tempted to do was to tell my wife. And that would have wiped the smile off nicely, don't you think?
I'm not talking with her here.
Well, it's up to you, Lisa. Viv's OK, though. I wish you'd let her stay.
I don't know. I shouldn't be here anyway. I hate you lot. It's not going to go any farther, is it?
Oh, we're not going to do you for soliciting, if that's what you mean, are we?
Janie was my mate, sort of. We started on the same day. Funny, innit? Like starting in a real job, you know. Though Mrs. Bowen says that's what it is, if you think about it. I don't know.
You know Sally Bowen, do you?
Well, of course I do. I thought you knew that. All the girls do, really. It's all right, is Sally.
Lisa, where is all this getting us?
Well, we know our man as well, don't we? He's a regular.
Yes, sir. In his own bed. Well, the double. Lisa said he went with all the girls.
Kinky?
Oh, I should say so, wouldn't you? For an accountant.
I was referring to his taste in sex, actually, the practices.
That was weird enough for me, sir.
Did you actually ask?
Yes, we did, sir. Lisa says he was straight with her, except he always paid with his wife's money.
What? You went and asked her for it? She was in the house?
No, sir. But she's got this habit. Leaves cash everywhere, just lying around. He seemed to like to use it if he could.
OK. So what are you suggesting?
Sir?
Is he in the frame? Is Lisa saying he's our man?
Well, from what she's told us, Bowen's weird, but not that weird.
I don't think so. Lisa says he wasn't violent.
We need to talk to some of the other girls.
Mrs. Bowen, too, poor woman.
Where is she now? Burnside went to talk to her. This rather changes things.
I thought I might go round there, sir. And Lisa said some of the other girls would talk, although she would only talk to Kathy.
Fine by me. But go and talk to Mrs. Bowen first. Let me know her reaction to it.
No.
You better stick with the motor. Right. If she's as charming as her old man, it'll be a pleasure.
She knows you, Kath. Sure you won't ease the way?
She'll be fine as long as you don't mention Frank Burnside. I'll be down the junction looking for Lisa.
Right then.
See ya.
Yes?
Oh, is Mrs. Bowen in?
Don't you people ever talk to each other?
I'm sorry?
Well, you are a police officer, aren't you?
Yes. DC Martella from Sun Hill CID.
Yeah, well, colleagues have gone to fetch my wife from the office.
D.I. Burnside.
They won't be long. Come in.
Thanks.
I want to get this in the open. I know you don't like me, and to be honest, I'm not over fond of you. But unfortunately...
Because of what I am? Because I'm a meddling do-gooder?
Unfortunately, someone has been murdered. And I need to ask some questions, so I want to clear the air.
Well, you're not going about it very cleverly, are you? You haven't answered me.
All right. Try me again.
Just why do you think you have the right to attack me? I identified the body. Is that do-gooding? Is that interfering? Is that stepping on your toes?
All right, I'll hold my hands up. You were a help.
Why don't you sit down?
The murdered girl.
Janie Constant.
Do you know them all by name?
Give me an area. Sunhill, London, the home counties.
All right. You've made your point.
You started it, Inspector. Of course I don't know all their names. I'm a probation officer, not a madam.
And I'm a police officer, not Jack the Ripper. I came here for information, not to have a fight.
I do know lots of them round here. Janie was...
A friend of yours?
A client like all the others.
So she was nothing special then?
Of course she was special. She was a human being.
But she was no more special than any of the others. Any recent visits?
Visits?
I must have got it wrong. I heard the Toms were welcome round your place any time. Open house.
That's not exactly right, Inspector. One or two may pop round occasionally. It's not pleasant, is it, what they do for a living?
So you provide a service. Is that a probation service or a social service? I only ask.
I don't think, actually, you could understand. I offer them...
Tea and sympathy.
Space and light. Opportunity to be themselves.
In return for which they steal your money. Is that as friends or clients?
Who have you been talking to, Inspector?
Your husband.
Just interested, that's all. I mean, no witnesses, nobody coming forward. Impossible job as far as I can see.
Yeah, well, we think we've got a few leads. Do you know any of the local prostitutes at all?
Unfortunately. Sally's job, you know.
But not professionally.
What are you suggesting?
Stranger things have happened, Mr. Bowen. Get to hear all sorts in this job. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, you think so, do you? Criminal philosophy, whatever next. Well, I'd be ashamed, Miss Martella. I'd think it was all despicable. But nobody's going to listen to a tart's word anyway. Whatever claims they make. They're scum. Or perhaps you have been listening to their stories.
I'm investigating a murder, Mr. Bowen. I have been asking questions.
But can you believe their answers? Every woman has a price, you know. But of course you do know that. What's yours?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
For sexual favors, say. Would you, for example, be prepared to sell yourself to save your skin? I bet you would.
Ray's never been a problem, precisely. It's the job, really. The clash.
He's an accountant, isn't he?
He sees things in black and white. Finite quantities. You know the pressure in jobs like ours, Inspector. What it can do to your marriage. I expect you've been married in your time. Ours has been an unusual marriage. Ray tries his best, but quite honestly, aspects of my work get up his nose. I'm sure you understand.
He did mention that the house was always cluttered up.
With whores, I'm sure he said. He has this knack of choosing words he knows will offend me. He can't bear to call them girls or women.
But if he has to work at home sometimes, it must...
So there are faults on both sides. OK, I can agree with that. Anyway, it's all irrelevant, isn't it? Our minor troubles. I don't know where we're going, Mr. Burnside.
Did your husband know her? Janie?
I'd be surprised if he knew her by name. Any of them. They mean nothing to him except as bodies messing up the place. He despises them.
That's right, Skip. Seriously vile. I've just been talking to a Tom named Marlene Prince. Says he can be violent, but it's not habitual.
Hold on. We've got a probation officer who gets off on playing Good Samaritan with the local Toms, including Janie Constant. And while she's out, they jump into bed with her husband.
Who not only likes to swing from the chandelier, but is frequently violent with it.
Where is he now, this husband?
At home. He works for chartered accountants in Smithson Square, but he didn't go in this morning. Although that's not unusual, apparently. He often works at home.
Nice work if you can get it.
D.I. Burnside and D.C. Lines are at the house now, sir.
So D.C. Martella. Call Marshall. As soon as she gets to the house, I want a report from Burnside.
Sir.
Hang on, look. Wait. Come. Sierra Oscar from Sierra Oscar 9.
Go ahead, Tosh. Is Cathy there already?
Cathy, no, Miss Frank Burnside. He's with the probation officers, chewing over Mrs. Bowen.
Who's at the house, then? Is Viv Martella with you?
Negative. The husband's at the house. Ray Bowen.
Hang on a sec.
Sierra Oscar from 487, receiving?
Yeah, go ahead, Kath.
Yeah, I heard that, Skip. I'm on my way.
Sierra 1 from Sierra Oscar.
Sierra 1 receiving.
I want you to go to 137. I repeat, 137 Stanton Gardens.
Yeah, we got that. We're on our way, Sarge.
Just tell me what the bitches have been saying.
Right. I'm going through that door.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that. I really can't. You mustn't leave this building.
Get out of my way! Get out of my way.
I really am very sorry.
Get out of my way now! Open the door! You ain't getting all away from me! Police, open the door!
Well done. Sorry it took so long for the penny to drop.
I'm just going to get me. Come on. I'm arresting you for assault on a police officer. You're not obliged to say anything, but anything you do say may be used in evidence.
Do you want me to tell her, Gov?
Soften the blow.
And what are you going to say? That you never liked him anyway?
Say it yourself. She might not see me as a threat, that's all.
Oh, and me she will. Good stuff, Tush.
He could have killed her, couldn't he? Any time.
Has something turned up? I've got you some coffee.
Thank you. I don't know whether I've read you right on this. I hope so. Whatever. This is going to be a shock.
I doubt it, Inspector. There's not much any... What a stupid thing to say.
We've arrested your husband for the murder of Janie Constant. He's also been charged with assault on a police officer, DC Martella.
Who?
Viv Martella. You met her this morning.
Oh, God.
She's not seriously hurt. She was in the house. She ended up alone with him. You're not surprised by this, are you?
You don't understand. He was never violent, never.
I'm sorry. I really am.
Thank you for your kindness.
I don't think kind's the right word. Where I come from, you don't kick someone when they're down. Even if you do disagree with every word they say.
You'll want me at the station, I suppose.
Later. That won't take long.
He hates me, you know. We've not been properly married, not for years.
Yeah, well, there's no need to tell me about that. Is there anyone I can get in touch with?
To pick up the pieces. No, thank you. I'll survive.
Yeah. You already knew, didn't you?